Good afternoon, everyone. We shall wait 1 or 2 minutes more for other students to join. Then we will start the class. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Visham Karangia, Athia, Kategya, okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Amber. So the students, yeah, very good show. I hope you are also good. And we are waiting for the student to join. Student are still joining the class. We will start the class in a bit. Good afternoon, Divya. Sakshi, Divya, Gaurangi. शुभम ये तो मुझे आइडिया नहीं. This is something you have to ask to Priya and all. In the meantime, if anyone wants to ask anything you have in mind, you can ask. Constitutional through Gazette of India, ये कौन सा बात है? I'm looking at it. ये संभव न्यूज़पेपर के बिना कैसे हो सकता है? न्यूज़पेपर में बट व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन स्किप एवरीथिंग एक्सेप्ट एडिटोरियल्स. डोंट मिस एडिटोरियल्स एट ऑल. कितने होते हैं? 3 या 4 एडिटोरियल होंगे, सारे इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं होते हैं. बट द मेन एडिटोरियल एंड द साइड एडिटोरियल उसे जरूर पढ़िएगा, बिकॉज एडिटोरियल गिव्स यू इनसाइट, ओपिनियटेड इनसाइट, वो जरूरी है. अब अदर्स न्यूज यू कैन स्किप एंड कीप ऑन रनिंग एंड ज्यादा नहीं है. ईयर ईयर कौन सा है आपका? टारगेट ईयर कौन सा है? नंबर 2025 है, फिर तो बिल्कुल नहीं. फिर तो मैं कहूँगा इफ यू लिटरली डोंट हैव टाइम तो एडिटोरियल भी जरूरत नहीं है. इस स्टेज पे फोकस ऑन ओनली 4 कोर सब्जेक्ट्स: हिस्ट्री, इकोनॉमी, पॉलिटी, ज्योग्राफी. पुट देम, डाइजेस्ट देम एंड देन मूव ऑन टू करंट इवेंट. वो भी अभी मत करिएगा, आराम से 2023 से स्टार्ट कीजिएगा. 23 या 24 में भी करेंगे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, 24 में भी वही थी वही चलेगा. अगर आपका नेक्स्ट ईयर नहीं है टारगेट ईयर, तो एटलीस्ट फॉर नेक्स्ट 7 to 8 month डोंट वेस्ट योर टाइम विद न्यूज़पेपर्स. Digest static content, your economy, polity, history, geography. In history your modern history first and then ancient and medieval. Because ancient medieval में कोई limit नहीं है कितना पढ़ना है, तो cover as much as possible. But these 4 subjects must be first, and in second stage, basically, let me share. ना देखिए, बिल्कुल. आप देखिए, ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज अगर आपका ईयर जैसे नेक्स्ट ईयर नहीं है, 2024 है या 2025 है, तो इन दैट ईयर करंट अभी इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. करंट अफेयर्स यू नीड टू फोकस ऑन योर कोर सब्जेक्ट्स विद इन हिस्ट्री, मॉडर्न फर्स्ट एंड देन टाइम परमिट्स एंशिएंट medieval. ठीक है. एंड इकोनॉमी तो जरूरी है, पॉलिटी जरूरी है, एंड ज्योग्राफी इज आल्सो. पॉलिटी मींस पॉलिटी प्लस गवर्नेंस आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. These subjects you have to digest. This must be a stage 1 of preparation. Once you do this, then stage 2 पे you will move to international relations, your internal security, and other, for example, here and there topic, ethics is also there. Second stage. Ultimately, stage 3 when you will reach. After doing this, it should not take it will take around 8 months, something, 8 or 9 months. After that, you can start. The main part will be revision of all these, this and this. Stage 1 and stage 2 revision plus current affairs. ठीक है. टारगेट ईयर जो है उस ईयर में करंट अफेयर्स करेंगे तो ज्यादा बेटर है. फॉर नाउ keep on attending this kind of class that we have. It's a revision class, so if there would be any very important news, तो हम उसे anyway cover कर ही लेंगे क्लास में. Beyond this, there is no need if you are targeting for 24 and 25. Clear हो जाती? And Amber. Okay. Okay. Almost everyone has joined, I believe. Yes, it appears everyone more or less has joined. Okay. Few are remaining. They will join a bit later. So today we will start some important news. Today a bit of geography is there. So थोड़ा देख लेंगे. Again, I am saying, if you are new to the preparation, you have no idea about anything political economy, feel free to ask. कोई भी terms are important. If you are unable to understand any terms, किसी भी point पे ask it. ठीक है. There is no restraint कि अभी नहीं बात. Share नहीं हुई मैंने करी. Oh, it is syncing. एक second. Let me share it again. अब हो गया. Everyone can see the screen, the PDF. चलो. So if that is done, so let us start. Okay. Having done that, today the first thing is with respect to human trafficking. In this, recently NCRB data was published. So first question that must come to your mind: what is NCRB? It is National Crime Record Bureau. That is for economics, na? You come in economics class, I believe. वहाँ पे आप पूछ लीजिएगा। तो थिंग इज यहाँ पे बताएंगे तो सबको फिर वी हैव टू गिव अ वेरी डिटेल, उसके आसपास की चीजें हमें बतानी पड़ जाती है। ठीक है, इफ यू हैव माय क्लासेस, जैसे देयर आर स्टूडेंट जिनकी क्लासेस ओवर हो चुकी हैं, दे कैन आस्क एनीथिंग एनी टाइम। ठीक है, इफ यू स्टिल हैव माय क्लासेस, कुछ रेलेवेंट क्लास में पूछिएगा, वी विल ऑलवेज डू इट। ओके ओके। नेशनल क्राइम रिकॉर्ड, so what is the logic? देखिए, NCRB नेशनल क्राइम रिकॉर्ड ब्यूरो, द थिंग इज इट जनरेट्स स्टैटिस्टिक्स। व्हाई? फॉर एग्जांपल देखिए, who represent the will of the people? Anyone who represent the will of the people? Yes, your MPs and MLAs, or shall I say your parliament and state legislative assembly, they represent the will of the people, that is your and mine will, that is represented by our MPs and MLAs. Government is a part to implement those will as we reflect in form of MP and MLA. So this MP and MLA in parliament and SLA, they make laws. So for that, laws cannot be haphazard. For example, earlier what used to happen, we used to have kings. So kings used to have people around them, and we have seen numerous empires fell because the people around kings were basically chatu. Chatukar, as we call them, kind of uh, buttering people. They always please the king. They never tell the king the truth. They tell the king what he wants to hear. So because of this, the king used to make wrong decision and empire used to fall. So to prevent that kind of thing, because we are in a new era, we want that MPs and MLA, yes, MPs and MLAs to make policies, in this case to make laws as per the real picture of the society. And for that purpose, we have National Crime Record Bureau. This provides the statistical understanding of the crimes in India. Like for example, how many crimes are increasing for women, SC, ST, what is the rate of change, which state has more rates, for example, which has more murders. So by that, every state can focus on the core issue. For example, Rajasthan, say for example, if have more number of rapes. So Rajasthan government's first priority should be to bring laws, to bring reforms in the police or anything required to decrease this rate. But who has to tell that? This NCRB. If there is no NCRB, then there is no data. And if there is no data, then the Rajasthan will never get to know that there more rapes are committing in Rajasthan. So that's why we have NCRB. It collects criminal data, which helps our parliament and state legislative assemblies to make laws as per the requirement of data. Having understood the role of NCRB, now we need to understand what was the data. Recently published data highlights that conviction rate was only 16%. Conviction rate was only 16% in anti-trafficking laws, and it is not available for 11 states in UT. Top performer was Jharkhand. So kudos to Jharkhand. The Jharkhand is doing good. Now it is about human trafficking. So this is the 3 points of data. Beyond this, do not go in detail on NCRB. This data on human trafficking, but do cover a few points of NCRB's data. For example, on women, NCRB data on SCST atrocities. They UPSC does not ask directly, but they come handy जब आप mains answer लिखते हैं. In mains answer, you have to put argument, and simple argument does not work. If you put that we should bring this policy for women, then if you substantiate that by saying, as highlighted by recent NCRB data, the crime against women has increased, so your argument becomes strong, substantive. सबको clear है how you will use this data? ठीक है, so this much we understood. We understood NCRB, we understood data, especially on human trafficking, what it says. Yeah, this much is clear. So this is the 3 things we need to remember. But the concern is this: 16%. It's very, very, very low. 16% conviction and human trafficking. Now we need to understand. We have understood governance dimension. Now polity. Under which article we cover human trafficking? Anyone? Yes, so 23. Article 23. Article means a provision of the constitution. The way, for example, you write para. In para, you say line number 2, line number 3. Similarly, in constitution, we have various provisions. So it is the provision number 3, which is known by the name of Article 23. That's the meaning of word article. So Article 23 talks about human trafficking, begar and all. Basically, forced labor. It is a right against exploitation. So that under that article we have brought a law known as, देखिए यहाँ लिखा हुआ है मैंने, ITPA, Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956. First thing. So NCRB, what is NCRB? Rule of NCRB. Second, the data presented, how it is important for human trafficking. The quality part is Article 23 that deals with right against exploitation. Under that act, we have under that article, we have Immoral Traffic Prevention Act. Now, this is the quality economy governance. Now we need to understand most important concept of soft state. Two concepts. Then we will understand why this data and what this data highlights. Soft state and rule of law. Two concepts. First, rule of law. What do you understand by rule of law? क्या लगता है आपको क्या है rule of law? Can you even define it in a very small terms? मतलब एक दो word. Yes, rule of law means law is supreme. If the Prime Minister of India does not, yes, basic logic is as we call as Rex Lex. Lex Rex, sorry. Do not need to remember Lex Rex, but basically it means the law is the king. Rule of law means law is the king. It is the supreme. Earlier, during your kingdom time, we used to have king is the law. Or shall I say, Rex Lex. Yes, because I show whatever the king used to say used to become the law. If you violate the king's command, it's a violation of law and ultimately you are punished. Well, king was the law, king was the government, and king was the justice. Everything was the king, the one person. We live in modern times. So in modern times, we want to have something that controls everyone, including the king. So that brings us to the concept of rule of law. Rule of law emphasizes that law is supreme. For example, if a law says that for not wearing mask in Corona, you will be penalized. So if it is the Prime Minister of India or a common citizen running on the street or walking on the street, both will be fined equally. Clear essence of rule of law, everyone? Any confusion? Clear. Okay. जिन्हें समझ में ना आए, they have more responsibility to say no. Okay. अब आता soft state. I think we have discussed this concept earlier also. Soft state. Anyone remember we had discussed this earlier in earlier classes? Soft state. The soft state, basically, for the people who do not know this concept, soft state means a state that is unable to implement its law. There are various components of soft state. One is unable to implement law. For example, same example, there is a fine for not wearing the mask. But when the Prime Minister does not wear the mask, they are not penalized. But when a common citizen does that, they are. So first, the soft state you can say is a violation of rule of law. Link is clear. Soft state means a state that is unable to implement or enforce its law. And rule of law means law is supreme. The soft state basically denies the rule of law or weakens the rule of law. And India is the case of that. And you can, rule of law example, Sweden is the best example. Sweden is a country in Europe, Northern Europe. In that country, the Prime Minister of Sweden was fined for having a party during Corona because she violated the Corona guidelines of the Swedish government. Prime Minister was fined by the police of Sweden. Do you think the khaki of India has the guts to fine the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister of the state? Do you think that the power they have, the guts they have, the khaki, the IPS khaki, the thing that you're trying to be? Suspend हो जाएगा, terminate हो जाएगा, transfer हो जाएगा. Anyway, so that is the reason. That is the concept of soft state, and it is a problem. A soft state does not lead to proper development. A soft state lead to corruption, because when you know you can violate law by impunity. Islam कहते हैं ना, अगर if there is a red light, a common citizen jumps a red light, you can let that person, okay, एक बार चलो ठीक है, you can let that person by a warning. Please don't jump next time, I will fine you. But if a police personnel jumps a red light, then that person must be fined twice. Why? Because that person represents what? Rule of law. That person represents the enforcement of law. And if a person supposed to enforce the law violates the law, then it sends a passive signal to the people that you can also violate a law if you are powerful. समझ में आ रहा है? Why? So that in that context, this is important. Now, Joseph what rather? Joseph is Nye you're trying to talk about. Now, rather it is not that concept. You're confusing. Joseph is Nye का soft state अलग है. वो IR में आता है, international relations में. That's a different thing. That is basically soft power. ये soft state अलग concept है. This is given. This is in sociology and politics. It is given by Gunnar method. This is different concept. Confuse मत होइएगा दोनों concept में. The Joseph Nye concept was soft power. That means soft power means power of attraction. The power of attraction. For example, you love your parents. Okay, your mother is weaker than you physically. If possible, you can beat her. But the thing is, she is authority. She has authority over you. She is your mother. She can beat you, and you would not dare to even lift a finger. That is the power of attraction. That you are much more powerful than your mother. Still, you cannot oppose her beating. So वो soft state होती है. So if you apply that concept to your state, it becomes soft state. That is Joseph Stalin. Clear ना राधा? अलग-अलग concept है. चलो. तो यहाँ तक everyone clear? NCRB and its role, data, Article 23, rule of law, soft state. Any confusion in 5 of these concepts? Clear सबको? Cool. So having cleared this concept, now we need to understand the 16% conviction. It's simply what does it represent? It clearly represents that India is a soft state. That we have a law and still we are unable to put people behind bars. And a soft state does not inspire confidence. It means a person will think, yeah, I have done this today and I have not been penalized. So tomorrow I will do the same and nobody will penalize me. All I have to do is get power. Having done that, now we need to understand Immoral Traffic Prevention Act. In India, the law that deals with this human trafficking is the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act. In this, I have listed 3 provisions, and the issue we have this. Okay. It provides for this approach, that is rescue, protect, and rehabilitate approach. Means a victim can be rescued by the police officer and the concerned public persons, then protect her or him, and then rehabilitate. On paper, it appears a very good idea, but a study that was done in Kolhapur, Maharashtra, that study found that most of the cases where the women who are often, human trafficking is for sex work. That is what they do. Their legal work for sex work in India. Most of the human trafficking is for sex work. And in that scenario, if you protect a woman, the problem that comes is first, she was taken during childhood, so she does not know the family. If she knows the family, she does not want to go back because there is an element of shame. Isme you can clearly blame the society. Okay, everyone deserves a second chance. It was not her fault that she was pushed into prostitution, but society, by demonizing her, by demonizing even her aura, basically society denies them second chance. And second chance हर किसी को मिलना चाहिए. Clear हो रही है बात? First, they don't want to go because they know their family will not accept, and even if their family knows, they are not willing to accept. Everything is because society acts as a moral guide, I must say, कि भाई नहीं ये तो होना ही नहीं चाहिए. But it denies second chance. Second chance बहुत जरूरी होता है जिंदगी में हर किसी के लिए. If that woman is given second chance, for example, if that woman is given training, कुछ मान लेते हैं, any training, any kind of training for some work, computer training and all, she can shift from that work to a proper work. So getting rescue, protect, rehabilitate की जगह पे reskill her, provide her better opportunity. And to start that, I believe it starts at the level of chief ministers and prime ministers. They have to take this initiative. They have to go to this place. The problem is nobody wants to go. Abhi koi social element hai na. Having done that, I hope everyone understand this first problem: rescue, protect, and rehabilitate. Why it is not working? A good idea on paper, but real life a disaster. अब इसमें you should thank one thing. You should thank Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court of India, I think we have discussed in earlier current event classes, has recognized prostitution as a profession. I would say very beautiful judgment by Supreme Court. We have discussed this dimension that the recognition of prostitution was very much needed. They will get health benefit. They will get other benefits. The most important thing we can ensure is that the kids of the of that woman does not suffer the same fate. तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. अब the thing is in the hand of parliament. Now the parliament has to do, that is they have to take this forward. Do you think parliament legalize करेगी, कोई law लाएगी to recognize them as professionals? Yes, it's organized crime. Organized crime में भी बहुत say you can help women. The thing is you can help those who are unintentionally there. अभी क्या है, हमें पता नहीं लगता कौन है. देखिए, whether we like it or not, prostitution हर जगह अवेलेबल है. In every state आपको पीने का पानी साफ ना मिले, prostitute मिल जाती है. Every state, it is ubiquitous. And now I'm talking about India. It's available around the world. Around the world आपको कुछ मिले ना मिले, prostitute will be available. Something that is so ubiquitous, basically recognize it. उसे regulate कीजिए so that the women who are subjected to these atrocities can have a second chance in life. और सबसे बड़ी बात जो मेरे लिए concern है, the concern is उनके बच्चे. If we can take those kids out and provide them proper education, health, and हो सकता है उनमें से अगला IAS बन जाए. Imagine कीजिए prostitute की लड़की IAS. The way she will work for those people, nobody can. आप और मैं सोच भी नहीं सकते हम कैसे work करेंगे. She can work for them because she has emotional comfort. Of course, Uditi, unforced, no. That is subjective, Uditi. That is what I am saying. इसमें हमने previous class में चीज समझी थी with respect to individual and society. The problem that we witness in India is in polity. I also told you that what is the problem that our fundamental rights जो है, all of the concept that you study in polity, economy, wherever, especially IR, they are Western concept. Western society runs on individual. For example, they care what Uditi wants to do in her life. Western society. Unlike Eastern society, we care about what society wants. The Eastern India, in India, parents क्या बोलते हैं, समाज क्या बोलेगा, दोस्त क्या बोलेंगे, पड़ोसी क्या बोलेंगे. अरे हमने पड़ोसी का ठेका लिया है क्या? You're getting that point. तो जो forced prostitution है उसमें the unforced में it's individual choice. Understand this. The Supreme Court is not saying that be a prostitute. ये Supreme Court ने थोड़ा ना बोला. Supreme Court simply saying is that if you choose that profession, it's your body, it's your life. आपको जो करना है करिए, बस कुछ moral limitation रखिए, नहीं कि publicly शुरू हो जाए. You have your place, do what you want to do. It's your body, it's your life, it's your decision. That was the logic. Having said that, तो पार्लियामेंट में हम बात कर रहे थे. पार्लियामेंट देखिए इनेक्ट करना चाहिए, हर कोई बोल चुका है. नेशनल कमीशन फॉर वुमेन मल्टीपल टाइम हैज सेड प्लीज ब्रिंग अ लॉ टू रिकॉग्नाइज prostitution, willful prostitution. Provide them job cards. Every prostitute will be given a job card. By that job card, they can have health benefits, maternity benefits, maternity benefits, and most important, you can ensure that their kids. तो मैं हर बार कह रहा हूँ, the main thing that I want to ensure कि उनके बच्चे ना फंसे इस कांड में, or they should get a second chance. Clear? Parliament has but I don't think Parliament has the guts. Why? That is the beauty of a appointed judiciary. Judiciary, a judge does not care about the public opinion. Judge cares about the constitutional values. A judge does not care about public opinion. They care about constitutional values. क्योंकि उसे पता है मेरा election थोड़ी ना होना है. But government की problem हो जाती है. A government has to elect every 5 years, and the government does care about public sentiments. तो इसीलिए imagine कीजिए 75 year independence, ना कांग्रेस की हिम्मत हुई ना बीजेपी की हिम्मत. 56 इंच की छाती मोदी जी बोलते हैं, 56 inch of छाती, and still I don't think he has the guts to bring this act. Clear है सबको? Why there is a social pressure there. So all the dimension we discussed is clear. Any confusion? ये लोग किसी कंट्री में मतलब रिकॉग्निशन ऑफ प्रोस्टिट्यूशन, आई थिंक यूएस की स्टेट्स में है कुछ. यूएस सम स्टेट डू रिकॉग्नाइज दैट एज अ प्रोफेशन. यूएस में ब्रोथल ओपनिंग भी है, एंड हाँ वो मुझे स्टेट याद नहीं, बट यूएस की कुछ स्टेट में है प्रोस्टिट्यूशन रिकॉग्नाइज एज अ प्रॉपर वर्किंग प्रोफेशन, एंड दे गेट ऑल द बेनिफिट, मैटरनिटी बेनिफिट, हेल्थ बेनिफिट, एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट दे आर नॉट एक्सप्लॉइटेड. इफ अ वुमन इन प्रोस्टिट्यूट फॉर एग्जांपल रिकॉग्नाइज, तो क्या होगा, if that person is being abused and not paid properly, that person can go to court. Good idea. I think it maybe at personal level you may not agree, but I believe Please dwell over it. It's a good idea. Understood, everyone? So we need two changes today. So that by that we will try to conclude this. We need two changes today. First change is we need to change our Immoral Traffic Prevention Act, and we need to separate willful prostitution by forceful prostitution. We need to separate both. We should legalize willful prostitution and make it illegal forced prostitution. First thing. Second thing, we should have this policy of rescue, protect, and reskill. Okay, these two things we need to do. अब आता है next thing is this trafficking of person, prevention, protection, rehabilitation bill 2018. A bill not passed. Problem क्या है? The bill has very good provision. You can read here. देखिए, basically rigorous imprisonment it provides for forceful prostitution, imprisonment for life, repeated offenders. It provides for national anti-trafficking bureau. Currently, there is no one body that will deal with this prostitution issue. That's the conviction rate is 16%. NCRB data. We just studied. Because there is no proper body, everything is left at the hand of police, and we all know police problems. Police burdened actually. अब police को blame करना गलत है. Police is highly burdened. Most of the time goes in, for example, किसी नेता की भैंस को find करने में उनका time निकल जाता है ना? बिहार में हुआ था, यूपी में हुआ था, बिहार में they were finding, I think बिहार यूपी में हुआ था. Okay, so that is the problem. Police does not have the time. Police is highly burdened. Less police officers. Everything is linked. Governance की बात है सारी. If we need police reform, we need judicial reforms. Then only we can go away from this idea of soft state. So National Anti-Trafficking Bureau is a good measure. ये आना चाहिए था. Apart from that, there will be state anti-trafficking officer, and सबसे बड़ी बात, it will have relief and rehabilitation provisions. So these all provisions are good of this bill. One provision that was wrong is any social worker. अब इससे हमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है? Any social worker. Problem है any. And you know there are certain people exploitation word sense आता. For example, any social worker. Any का मतलब समझ रहे हैं? That there are certain people who get employment during Valentine Day. कुछ लोग ना employment मिलती है, उनको इतना टाइम होता है, they go from park to park finding couples. बस उन एम्प्लॉयमेंट वाले लोगों की हमें प्रॉब्लम है. जब आप एनी वर्ड इस्तेमाल करते हो, देखिए इसका गुड इंटेंशन है, नो डाउट, क्योंकि यू विल फाइंड पुलिस को ढूंढो, पुलिस से कंप्लेन करो. इफ यू हैव द कैपेसिटी एंड गट्स, यू कैन रेस्क्यू अ विक्टिम. बट प्रॉब्लम इज एनी, और एनी में इट विल लीड टू व्हाट, देयर इज अ फियर दैट इट विल लीड टू व्हाट, मॉरल पुलिसिंग, एंड इट विल लीड टू मोर हरेसमेंट, not only of sex workers but ordinary people. Those people who get jobs in Valentine Day, these people will do moral policing. जहाँ लड़की लड़का देखा नहीं, उठा के ले गए, देखो ये लड़की विक्टिम है. ठीक है, तो what is the solution? What do you think? क्या करें इसका? आइडिया अच्छा है, बट क्या करें इसका? What we should do about this any social worker idea? Yes, what we can do is we can have registered social worker. बिल्कुल से मोनिका, there are some, so we can set guidelines, and most important, the guidelines में we can have registered social worker, meaning there are NGOs who literally work for these kind of crimes. So if you are a public spirited person, you want to work for such people, go join an NGO. If not an NGO, even by yourself, get yourself registered with, for example, this body we have, the National Anti-Trafficking Bureau or state anti-trafficking offices. कहीं पे भी हम we can provide, you can go register yourself. इससे ये फायदा होगा, if that person does something wrong, then these people will be responsible. So register से होगा कि we can ensure those people who are literally guided by the public spirit, they will work. उसके अलावा we can have other measures like if anyone gives any information about such kind of crime, हम उसकी identity protect करेंगे, उसको अगर कोई problem होती तो हम उसे protection देंगे. These kind of things. Clear? These are the measures. This is the entire news we have done in our integrated plan. Any confusion? Let me repeat. क्या क्या पढ़ा हमने? NCRB, the purpose of NCRB, few data, 16% criminal rate, conviction rate. Then we understood Article 23. Then rule of law and your soft state concept. Then we understood this ITPA Act and then amendment to ITPA Act. Any confusion in any of these? नहीं किसी को? चलो. Then we will move to next. Okay. Then we will move to next. Next is forest principle. Now, economics में I have told you UPSC has a habit. देखिए UPSC static कम पूछता है. Economics में UPSC has a habit to go ask for dynamic even for prelims. Prelims में भी उस dynamic concept पूछ देता है. So in this only remember this forest principle. अब how you will use this concept, that's most important. You can use this concept in your paper of ethics, in your society paper, in your environment paper. Question of environment. Environment means sustainable development question कोई आता है. Ethics, society, in your environment, in your governance, mains or interview. These are the places you can use this principle. How? देखिए, there's a report titled Roadmap for Better Growth India handled by Economic Advisory Council to PM. First question is what is Economic Advisory Council? देखिए, Prime Minister of India takes decision and he may not be an expert. For example, current Prime Minister is not an economist, and that's we know how we know he's not an economist because of demonetization. सबको पता है कितना घटिया स्टेप था वो. Demonetization basically ruined our country. The people who are not in economics may not understand, but we cannot explain here. But ये समझे demonetization के कारण what you see today in India. Demonetization को क्लब कर दीजिए कोरोना से, क्लब कर दीजिए यूक्रेन वॉर से, club with all these three factors, and you are at today's India. So we are bouncing back, but today's India's economic problem is because of it starts with demonetization, reinforced by Corona and Ukraine. Having said that, that's why we have an Economic Advisory Council to Prime Minister. It is composed of experts, economic experts, who give suggestion to the Prime Minister. Sir, you can do this, you can do that. Clear है? Again, इससे ज़्यादा डिटेल में मत जाइएगा इकोनॉमिक काउंसिल में. Do not go in detail कौन इसमें मेंबर है क्या है नहीं, कोई इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. बस understand the role of Economic Advisory Council to be. Having done that, do not remember this name. Not at all important. You need to only thing that you need to remember is this principle, forest principle. Forest principle means shared prosperity, social prosperity, sustainable prosperity, and solid prosperity. हाँ उनका काम, बट उसमें भी हम फॉर एग्जांपल वी हैड डिस्कस्ड एक बड़ा ही कमाल का सीन था. द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया दिस आपका कहते हैं दिस इंडिपेंडेंस डे gave a speech on the Red Fort, and there he talked about giving respect to women. और उसी दिन गुजरात सरकार कुछ रेपिस्ट को छोड़ती है, मास गैंग रेपिस्ट एंड मर्डरर्स, and that was not the sad thing. Sad thing was there were women touching feet of those people as if they have done some honorable task. So that is moral bankruptcy, little moral bankruptcy. क्या मतलब क्या दिखाना चाहते हैं? What you want to show? अब इसमें अब देखिए इसमें नंबर yes ठीक है, but there is a problem. Problem is if for example an individual commits a rape, that person is shot dead, वो गया जेल में गया, उसको कोई नहीं बचा सकता. But if a politician commits a rape, तो वो बच जाते हैं. For example, Donald Trump, the US president, उसको कितने इल्जाम लगे. There were multiple women placed blame on him, but still he's roaming free. जज भी बच जाते हैं. Yes, नाम नहीं लेंगे शुभम, ठीक है, we love our freedom. Yes, there are certain judges who basically stands in their own trial. Basic thing that I am saying is power. इसमें I will ask you please, घर पे जाके यहाँ नहीं कर सकते. Ethics की for ethics case study please read रुचिका गृहोत्रा case. Please read this. Write it somewhere, and after the class please read this Ruchika Grihotra case. Then you will understand abuse of power. Then you will understand how our school girl was molested by an IPS officer, and then that IPS officer कुछ नहीं बिगड़ा, even when everyone put everything online. ठीक है, तो that is what you are saying ना. उसमें problem क्या है? There is political orientation, because convicting a political candidate is not convicting individual, it is convicting a constituency. For example, आज भी even today there are people who believes in Ram Rahim was innocent, who believe that Asaram Bapu was innocent, and not I'm talking about men, women. They basically argue that he was framed. So you're getting my point? Andha Vishwas, and खासकर these governments and politicians have Andha Vishwas. और ये एक बहुत बड़ा रीजन बनता है वुमेन सब्जुकेशन का। ब्लाइंड किसी में विश्वास नहीं होना चाहिए, दैट इज अ बिग, आई ऑलवेज से नेवर बी अ भक्त। भक्त किसी का नहीं होना चाहिए, चाहे नेता हो, एनीवन, योर पॉलिटिशियन, योर babas, don't be a bhakt of those people. Be religious, have love for God, have love for religiosity, but never be a bhakt. Bhakt is a phenomena where you do not have, yes, irrational phenomena, where you accept everything. 120 रुपए पेट्रोल you will justify. Example देता हूँ मैं बहुत अच्छा भक्ति का, and then we will move on. For example, farm laws. When Modi government brought the farm laws, the majority of media said it's a master stroke. And when these farm laws were withdrawn, the very same media said it is a master stroke. So bringing farm laws was a master stroke, withdrawing farm laws was a master stroke. ये मुझे समझ नहीं आया कैसे। So that is bhakti. Never be a bhakt. Something that is good, accept it. Something that is bad, accept it. Yes, sir. इसमें the thing that you're saying ना, Twitter पे देखिए साक्षी, go on the Twitter पे I see every week there is a trend talking about why Ashram Bapu is innocent. But देखिए इसमें you can also have one dimension that this is the beauty of India's democracy and law. This is the power of law. That people like Ashram Bapu can also be behind bars. That is the power of our judiciary. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि everything is gloom and bad. There are good instances. मैंने एक example देखिए, there is an example of a judge, Chief Justice of India, sits in his own rape case. Just imagine this and digest this. Chief Justice of India sits on his own rape case. I'm not saying he is innocent or biased, but the thing that I am saying is, it is a case of being your own judge. नहीं होना चाहिए था उसे seat. They, on the other hand, there is an example, I believe it was from Allahabad or somewhere, where a judge basically recused from a case because that involved the rape of his own daughter. Imagine this. So we have both extremes, depend upon the people. Having understood this, yes, rather naturalists. So content समझ में आ रहा है सब कैसे इस्तेमाल करना है इनको. You will use this, for example, if you are writing a question sustainable development, then you will say, as highlighted by the report published by Economic Advisory Council, they talked about sustainable prosperity, that is economic progress with environment sustainability. Everyone clear how you will use these 4 lines? Remember this 4S principle. What is this? Clear to everyone how you will use this? So, with that idea, we will move to next news. Next is Aspirational District program. In programs, I have told you, whenever you are studying a scheme of government of India, so you need to know few things about it. Pehla, what is the scheme? That means few provision, not detail, only few provisions. What is the scheme? Few provision. Why it was brought? What could be done? Means what are the weaknesses, how you can improve it. And the most important is limitation/status. These are the dimensions you have to cover whenever you read any news of the government. Pehla, what is the scheme? For that, only 3 to 4 points, not more than that. If the scheme is very, very important, for example, Swachh Bharat, it has been continuing and everyone knows it. आपका first, for example, the Swachh Bharat हो गया आपका Digital India, तो उसमें you can go in bit detail, but otherwise 4 points at most are sufficient. After that, you need to know why that scheme is there, then what are the limitation or weakness of the scheme, and what is the current status of the scheme, and then what could be done. These dimensions you have to cover. Having understood, there is a program called Aspirational District Program of Government of India. To understand this, we need to understand the concept of regionalism first. We need to understand the concept of regionalism. What is regionalism? It basically, I can put this love for your region. Love for your region is regionalism, simply put. But it could be for anything. For example, a Tamil's love for his Tamil rather than Hindi is also a case of regionalism. हो सकता है that Tamil person is living in Delhi, but still that person loves Tamil more than Hindi. So it's a case of regionalism where you love your regional identity. And remember this, it is not a bad term. It is not a bad term. Everyone loves, for example, if you You have a house, your parents' house. You have your own personal room in that. You don't like anyone's presence in your room. You get angry even if your mother's enter ki aap mat aayega, please. You don't like anyone's in your room. Does it mean you hate your family or you hate your house? No. You love them as well, but you have a personal attachment of your personal space. You do not want anyone to violate your personal space. मैं मराठा का एग्जांपल लेने वाला था सच्चे भी वी विल टॉक अबाउट यहां तक क्लियर है सबको रीजनलिज्म का बेसिक आइडिया लव फॉर योर रीजन दैट मे नॉट बी एंटीथेटिकल टू नेशन क्लियर प्लीज टेल ओके regionalism अब Sakshi has talked about Marathas is a very special case of regionalism, especially the son of soil doctrine. Son of soil doctrine popularized in Maharashtra, especially by the Shiv Sena and other party. These parties argues that Maharashtra is for Marathi. Maharashtra is for Marathi, a regional assertion of Marathas, basically. And it becomes the son of soil, it becomes very negative. The way they behave with Biharis, especially, and UP. The people who come from Bihar and UP. Most of the labor in Maharashtra, Delhi are from UP and Bihar. So those people are not behaved properly. It's a bad thing. So it's a negative case of regionalism. So सबको समझ में आया regionalism is a positive term. But when it is asserted against somebody, it becomes a negative term, like son of soil. Why we are discussing this here? Because it is linked to an idea of economic backwardness. That's why I was discussing this. Okay, why so many people from Bihar goes to Maharashtra? The reason is because Bihar does not provide proper economic opportunity for the people to progress, and that's why they go to Maharashtra. And when they go to Maharashtra, they take up the Marathi jobs. And when they simple सी बात है, if I am a Marathi and my jobs are taken in my own state, in my own region, so I will be a bit angry. Reason कुछ भी रहा, reason could be anything. So that's why the son of soil has very much tracking, or very much traction in Maharashtra, because they says that Bihari, why you are coming to Maharashtra? Go work in your Bihar. भाई problem ये अगर वो work कर सकता तो वो आता ही क्यों? If that person would be having work in Bihar, why would he be coming to Maharashtra? So एक reason होता है, there are various reasons to go to some place, but one is economic backwardness, and for that we have this program. Aspirational District program is a replacement of backward region grant fund. In Congress time, there used to be a program of backward region grant fund. Under this fund, money used to be given to backward regions of India so that they can progress. As a replacement to this, we have aspirational district. So what is an aspirational district? A district that has low indicators, low socio-economic indicators. A district with low socio-economic indicators. So under aspirational district program, we do the same thing. We provide fund, technology, manpower, anything that is required to the backward districts of India. Thing that we call aspirational district, and these districts are basically aimed to achieve economic parity with other districts. Clear everyone what is aspirational district program and why it was brought? Any confusion you can ask. Any confusion? Backward region grant fund. It was a fund. As the name implies, it was a pool of money created by backward region grant fund. It was created by the Congress government basically. It was a fund from which money was given to the backward districts of India. Backward region. मान लेते हैं Bihar has a backward state, backward district. So we give money to backward districts so that they can have proper hospitals, more schools, and they can come at par with upward district, or I say forward districts. For that reason was backward region grant fund. Modi government closed this and transformed this into aspirational districts program. Now same backward districts are known as aspirational districts. Aspiration word समझ गए? The things that you want to achieve. Okay. So this is the context that the backward region has been transformed to aspirational district. This district aims to develop backward districts of India and bring them at par with your forward districts, and the component of the backward district component is health, nutrition, education, financial inclusion, skill development, agriculture, water resources. So on these, the fund will be given by the center to this state. State will transfer to aspirational district, and some component will be transferred directly by the center to the states. Sorry, the districts. And these districts will invest in their health infrastructure, nutrition, education, financial inclusion, skill development, agriculture, and water. This is the scheme. Is it clear, everyone? Anything you want to ask? Clear? Chalo, theek hai. Then we will move to the, we have seen few news. Now, this is a very good news. Unemployment rate declines. इसको समझने के लिए let me give you something called as 4 balance sheet problem. देखिए ये आपको कहीं मिलेगी नहीं ऐसा 4 balance sheet problem. क्या है ये? थोड़ा सा let me tell you. Economics में your economics teacher may teach. I have no idea कि वो पढ़ाएंगे नहीं पढ़ाएंगे. But largely they may teach. So 4 balance sheet problem. What is this? First, the concept is balance sheet. Balance sheet is basically every company creates a kind of paper in which they list what is our profit, what is our expenditure, what is the cost, everything they list on the sheet and they balance it. Means what I spend, what I earn, balance it, and this is my loss or profit. That is the logic of balance sheet. So every corporation, every company creates balance sheet. So we are talking of 4 balance sheet problems. One is bank. Banks, because of this, because of low demand in the economy, banks, because economy is down, because of which a lot of corporate sector are unable to pay back their loans, because of which banks have something called as NPA or non-performing assets. Non-performing assets means those loans of the banks that are not coming back. Simple understanding. Clear as sabko? What is NPA? Any confusion anyone has in mind? Guys, any confusion? Okay. Next. Second is corporate. I told you, economy is down, demand is not there. Consider like this. I am a company that makes shoes. Okay, shoes banata hu, I am making shoes for generations. Now there is a economic crisis. People do not have the money. I have laid a factory. I have laid a factory on loan taken by the bank or someplace else. Now because there is no demand, so nobody will buy my shoes. If nobody will buy my shoes, automatically I will not generate profit. If I will not generate profit, then how I will give money back to the banks? Means I will be in loss. So that is the logic of corporate balance sheet. That is loss-making corporates. So these are 2 balance sheet over here, bank and corporate sector. Up till here, everything clear? Please tell me. Okay. So what happened? Modi ji happened basically. This is what happened. This analysis is given by Arvind Subramanian. Arvind Subramanian in a white paper along with a Harvard professor, they gave this entire detailed analysis. Kaise hua? How it happened? Demonetization. Okay, demonetization has no positive benefit for the India. None at all. Because of demonetization, there was a slump in demand. Because 85% of money in circulation, 85% of India's economy was cash. And this demonetization took 85% of the cash. 85% of India's economy. So there is a slump in demand, immediate slump in demand. And all this money, because demonetization, all this money went to banks. And this is a tendency of the bankers. They never keep even 1 paisa ideal. वो हमेशा कहीं ना कहीं invest करते हैं. They always invest somewhere. So these banks gave paisa to NBFCs. Now you may ask, what is NBFC? NBFC means non-banking financial corporations or company. Meaning these are the companies who are engaging in financial transaction, but they are not banks. Banks may you can go and open an account, deposit money there, and get money out. NBFC may you cannot open savings account. So NBFC do economic functions like bank, but they are not bank. यहाँ तक सबको क्लियर है व्हाट इज एनबीएफसी? बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग? एनीवन विद कंफ्यूजन? बताइए इकोनॉमिक कॉन्सेप्ट, एनीवन विद कंफ्यूजन? अगेन चलो मैं दोबारा से समझा देता हूँ कि वी आर स्टडिंग फोर बैलेंस शीट, तभी हम समझ पाएंगे कि व्हाई दिस न्यूज इज इंपॉर्टेंट। द इकोनॉमिक हिस्ट्री, द बैकग्राउंड इज दिस। ठीक है, बैंक्स हैव एनपीए. NPA means my assets. The loan that I have given is an asset for the bank because banks get interest out of it. My loan are not coming back. It's NPA means nobody is paying me interest. My money is not coming back. So I am at loss. That is one balance sheet. That is stress. Stress means more loss than profit. Next is corporate. Corporate, because there is no demand in the economy, demand is down. Corporate is unable to generate profit. So corporate balance sheet is also stressed. Now come to last stage. Modi ji did demonetization. Economy was running smooth at that point of time. Modi ji did demonetization means all the money you had, 500 and 1000 rupee notes, they went to the banks. They went to the banks. So money was out of your hand. So basically you will not buy anything. Money was out of hand. You cannot buy a shoe. You cannot buy clothes. So demand will go down in economy. That one component. That is component number one. Second component is this. Because of demonetization, the money you had in your hands, 500,000 rupees, that went to the banks. Banks have a tendency, they never keep even a paisa ideal. Banks have a tendency, they never keep even a paisa ideal. They invest here and there. So bank gave that money to NBFCs. NBFCs are the institution who do financial business, but they are not banks. Up clear, Monica? Up till here, is it clear? अब क्या हुआ? What happened after this? These banks gave that money to real estate sector. All these buildings you have, buildings, big buildings, especially in Delhi and metropolis like Delhi and NCR, you have buildings, 40, 50 floors building. So NBFCs gave that money to real estate. The logic was that real estate will use that money because real estate is the second largest employment provider. Real estate is a big employment provider in India. A lot of workers. And when I say employment, I'm not talking about you people. So आप बड़ी-बड़ी कुर्सियों पे बैठते हैं, you become executive, you join as engineer and all. उनकी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. When we talk about employment, we talk about the labor class, which is the majority of the world. So it is the second largest employer there. So NBFCs thought if we give money to these people will make more flats, more offices, and they will employ more people. These people will get money, and so these people will get money. They will start buying. This demand will come back. So it was a counter to this. समझ में आया तक how this circle was trying to counter slump in demand? Please tell me, everyone is clear? सबको क्लियर? कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं? अगर है तो पूछ लीजिए, कोई इशू नहीं. ठीक है. So this was the logic, but ऐसा हुआ नहीं. अब ऐसा क्यों नहीं हुआ? There is a problem. देखिए इकोनॉमिक्स में अंडरस्टैंड दिस, डिमांड एंड सप्लाई. देयर टू फैक्टर्स इन इकोनॉमिक्स, डिमांड एंड सप्लाई. Always remember this. Every demand creates its unique supply. How? If I demand a shoe today, somebody will make the shoe. Why? Because for that person, that is an economic opportunity. उसे दिखेगा ये व्यक्ति शू मांग रहा है, he will buy my shoe. If I make a shoe, he will buy it. I will get money and I will pay back. So every demand creates a supply. Apply this to social problems like liquor, alcohol. We have dry states. Dry state means where alcohol is banned, like Gujarat and Bihar. But liquor is available at every corner in Gujarat and Bihar. Even Bihar में तो phone call पे liquor आता है. You can make a call and somebody will deliver at your home. Why? Because there is a demand. Whenever there is a demand, remember this always. Whenever there is a demand, liquor, prostitution, drugs, guns, because these all events, these all crimes are continuing because there is a demand for these things. And as long as there is a demand, somebody will provide a supply. सबको clear है demand supply का logic? Any confusion? बोले guys, any confusion? ठीक है, तो this is what happened. आपने you gave money to the real estate. Your hope was that real estate will get money. They will basically start building houses and all. People will get employment. People will get money. So you try to boost supply, not demand. Demand was already down. I told you since demonetization. Because of this, all this money went back. This is for balance sheet. Banks stress balance sheet. Balance sheet 1. Balance sheet 2 is corporate sector bad balance sheet. Balance sheet 3 is NBFC's bad balance sheet. And balance sheet 4 is real estate companies bad balance sheet. सबको क्लियर हो गया? 4 balance sheet problem. Okay, that's why I was saying we need economic advisory council for Prime Minister Modi because he initiated this entire fiasco. बाकी देखिए कोरोना and this Ukraine war, they have worked like an additives. उन्होंने initiate नहीं किया था. India's economy started declining since demonetization, a disaster for India's economy. That's why you have seen Modi ji and BJP. They praise everything about Modi's government except demonetization. No BJP person talks about demonetization because they know it was a disaster and it was a man-made disaster. जबकि सबने मना किया था. I'm telling you, when this was happening, at that point of time, I was preparing for civil services. I had studied as a scholar at that point of time, and I could not find even a single scholar who justified demonetization. सबने कहा था it's a stupid idea, it will destroy India's economy. और वाकई में ही वैसा हुआ. So सबको clear है why we are here? We are here because of 4 balance sheet problem which was initiated since demonetization. Any question? Then I will come to the news. Will you guys, any question you have? बड़े शांत है सब लोग. Nah, bilkul nah. Okay. So in that context, this is a background in which we will study this. That's why I was saying it is a very positive news. Why positive? Because this news highlights that unemployment rate in India is declining, especially in urban areas. Is declining. 7.6% हो गया from 12.6% from the previous year. So basically, it says that we are coming out of poor balance sheet. We are coming out of 4 balance sheet problem. BSC. सबको क्लियर है? बाकी देखिए सब पॉइंट्स है, यू कैन स्टडी बाय योरसेल्फ, कुछ खास नहीं है, बट ओनली देखिए मैंने लिखा है व्हाट इज लेबर फोर्स सर्वे, आप खुद ही पढ़ लीजिएगा. बट क्लियर हो गया सबको व्हाट इज द बैकग्राउंड एंड व्हाई दिस न्यूज इज अ वेरी गुड न्यूज फॉर इंडिया. Sorry, there was something for that I had to do. ठीक है, तो this was the news. Sir can, ये क्या चीज है? What is this sir can? There's a question there. अच्छा, cool. Okay, so we will so we have to continue ahead. ठीक है, right to privacy पे we have already discussed a lot. ठीक है, we have already discussed a lot. So I have listed in earlier classes we have discussed multiple times that personal data protection bill, privacy, Supreme Court privacy judgment, how it is linked and all. देखिए ये बार-बार आ रहा है. It is coming again and again. Every week I see articles on right to privacy and the things that are happening. So it means it's very important. UPSC will definitely ask it. If not in mails, then in your interview. Some panelists will definitely ask a question on this, but it is so ubiquitous. So cover it. बाकी कुछ नहीं है. We have discussed everything on right to privacy multiple times. You can watch earlier video as well. यहाँ पे these are some examples. Please put in your notes only 2 or 3 of these. ये मैंने यहाँ I have listed many examples. You just have to pick 2 or 3 so that you can quote in paper. For example, this custom department mandating airline to share personal details of the international flyers, or this any data you want to take, just keep 1 or 2 point out of all these points for your mains paper. In this, you can also keep this data. For example, IRCTC, it's a platform on which you book train tickets. ठीक है, the elite of you who have never been to the trains. कोई है यहाँ पे जिसने कभी ट्रेन में ट्रैवल नहीं किया? Is there anyone who has never traveled in train? कोई नहीं है यहाँ पे, कोई भी elite नहीं है. इसका मतलब UPSC ड्रीम ऑफ मिडिल क्लास है. UPSC ड्रीम ऑफ मिडिल क्लास. चलो IRCTC. Basically IRCTC is a platform जिसपे you book train tickets and all. तो सबको पता ही है तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. The thing is IRCTC recently thought they will make money out of your data. Means आपकी bank detail, your password, email and mobile number will be given to some people and they will take money out of it. जो criticize you, they back off. Same goes with Methi. Methi had an idea that what they will do is they will sell your data, your personal data in open market for a fee. Where it was protested, they took that. So there are various instances. For example, यहाँ पे भी है. There's bulk data sharing policy. Your driving license, your car registration will be public and private. So government has tried a lot of times to sell your data for money. कर नहीं पाए because there was a strong opposition. So please keep 2 or at most 2 out of all these examples for your personal data. The rest is in the notes we had discussed earlier. किसी को कोई confusion है तो अभी पूछ लीजिए personal data पे. Yes, it has been बताया था previous class में. It has been taken back. वापस ले लिया गया. उसमें they in previous class, I think previous or previous to previous में we discussed that they have taken it back because the parliamentary committee, a parliamentary committee was appointed. It has given certain recommendation on that bill. With that bill was dangerous on various aspects. तो इसलिए वापस ले लिया गया. The government is promising that they will bring a new bill, and I have firm belief in the government that they will not. ठीक है, because privacy जो है government is the biggest violator here ना. Pegasus का इशू भी हमने पहले करा था. हाँ, बिफोर इलेक्शन हो सकता है, इलेक्शंस के बाद 2024 के इलेक्शंस के बाद हो सकता है. Because 2024 में if the bill is there, then I'm not blaming the BJP government, BJP Congress, everyone. No, I'm telling you, no party wants this bill. Only you and I want this bill because it's our data. How they are, we discuss how social media is being used to radicalize you people. कैसे आपको बेसिकली कैसे आपको लिंचर्स बनाया जा रहा है, कैसे आपको एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट बनाया जा रहा है सोशल मीडिया की वजह से. हाउ दे आर टेलिंग यू टू हेट अ पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी, हाउ दे आर टेलिंग यू टू हेट अ पर्टिकुलर माइनॉरिटी, रिलीजियस और सेक्सुअल माइनॉरिटी, व्हाटएवर मे बी द केस. तो वो बात है. चलो, विद दैट नोट वी शैल हैव अ ब्रेक ऑफ 5 मिनट्स. 5 मिनट्स का ब्रेक लेते हैं, 10 मिनट्स कर लेते हैं, क्या हो गया. उसके बाद वी विल स्टार्ट विद दिस पति पंचायत वाला न्यूज़. क्लियर? कोई क्वेश्चन तो पूछ लीजिए. We will come back at 3:45. 10 minutes हो रहा है. 3:40 हो रहा है, 50 बात है. We will meet back at 3:50. Cool everyone? Okay, we are back. People are there. चले तो नहीं गए क्लास में? राजनीति में ज्वाइन नहीं करिए. चलो, let's start. पति पंचायत और पति सरपंच, ये क्या नाम है? Basically, इसमें this news per se is not important, but this news clubbing with the issue of panchayati raj institution is important. First, when India got independence, let me give you a bit of historical understanding. When India got independence, so there were various plans of development. One was Gandhian plan, something we know as by the name of Village Republic. Gandhi was really smart in that. He had always understood real India. Nobody could. Other was Nehruvian development plan. That we know by the name of socialist era, or also by the name of Nehru Mahalanobis plan. Or the plans, there were other plans also, Bombay, this and that. There were various plans. Just from Nehruvian economics, basically. So there were various plans of development. In that, the Gandhian plan was the real development plan, or the idea was Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya basically means the rise of all. Gandhi was not in favor of this urbanized, industrialized development, because he knew that India lives in its villages. Gandhi always said, India lives in its villages. So if you really want to develop India, develop its villages first. But we had Nehru and Ambedkar. Gandhi was killed by Nathuram Godse, basically martyred by Nathuram Godse. And then we had Nehru and Ambedkar was there. Both of them hated village. Nehru hated village because Nehru had inclination toward the USSR and China. But Nehru did not hate village, but he did not like them very much. He had inclination toward USSR and China. Both were centrally planned socialist economy governance, socialist economic governance. So Nehru, because of that, wanted a centralized kind of development. First thing. Second was Ambedkar. Ambedkar had intense dislike. There is no denial. Ambedkar intensely disliked villages in India because he believed that all villages are basically a center of casteism. And he was right. Because RGB you may see, even today you may see, especially I know about UP. I come from UP. Even in UP, there are caste villages. Literally caste villages. The Brahmin is there, Yadavs are there. So they very much dislike each other villages. Rajasthan. You will find these cases around India, but UP I have personally experienced. So इसलिए मैं personal experience से UP की बात कर सकता हूँ. Other I have studied only. So Ambedkar knew that village, if I make village as the center of development in India, that these are the place of casteism. And Ambedkar was very much concerned about lower caste. So he said, in village republic, only upper caste will develop. The lower caste will left out. So because of which, ultimately things settled because Gandhi was not there to persuade them. Nehru and Ambedkar ultimately settled in favor of their idea of a centralized development, a top-down development. But as happens with every blind person, one day they get eyes and they get to see that how beautiful this world is. Ultimately, they realize, even Nehru himself realized, and he initiated Panchayati Raj. He himself initiated Panchayati Raj. किसी को पता है कहाँ initiate किया था? Anyone has any idea where he initiated Panchayati Raj? First Panchayati Raj institution was created in Nagaur, Rajasthan. During this time, after that we know there were a lot of problems. 1962 war with China, 65 war with Pakistan, then 1970 war with Pakistan, and then economic instability, then Indira Gandhi's emergency, then coalition. We were so much messed up with this all internal problems of India that we could not give due weightage to PRIs. Ultimately, though Rajiv Gandhi tried 1980s as well, but ultimately in 1993 we got Panchayati Raj in India. Okay? So this is the context, and remember this: the idea is self-governance. I always say this. सीधी बात है, देखिए, for a villager who lives near to you, a sarpanch, not the chief minister or the prime minister. If you have any problem in your village, you can directly go to the sarpanch. He is the person you have lived with. He is the person you have eaten with, played with, whatever may be the case. So you know that person. You know that person by heart. So you know how you get things done. I'm not saying there is no corruption in panchayat, but I'm saying it is even better because the governance is near to you. सबको context समझ में आ रहा है? Context of पंचायती राज. Please tell me any confusion. नहीं है. चलो. So with that logic, Panchayati Raj we also had one component, that is reservation for women, 33%. And remember, this is the lower limit. Reservation can be any height. There are states which have given 50% reservation, like Bihar. So the thing is, the logic here is that, but we thought governance near to the people, but we also thought that majority, 50% of world's population is women. Still, they live in a man's-made world. देखिए everything, history, politics, economy, कोई भी चीज आप पढ़ लीजिए, they are always written from the perspective of a male's point of view. Entire history is filled with male's point of view. Polity, every concept you study is male's point of view. Because at that point of time, women were never considered equal. मैं example एक बार हमेशा बोलता हूँ, for example, Aristotle. अगर आपको नहीं पता इस व्यक्ति का नाम, doesn't matter. You will study it later. The scholar, polity में important scholar, as well as in governance is important scholar. So he said very popularly that a female is an infertile male. It shows that this is a prime example to show that the mentality there, even the highly learned people, Aristotle, Plato, these are the starting point of philosophy. Philosophy का starting point मानते हैं, polity, economy जहाँ भी आप चाहें, they are the starting point. If these highly intellectual people can call women a infertile male or incomplete male, they said this incomplete male, infertile male. So basically, this highlights that they live in a male world. So having understood that, we thought, why shouldn't we give them reservation? Once they have a proper reservation, so people can see them in position of command, and that will have a liberating impact on mind. With that intention, we gave 33% reservation. Now, what is the issue of this Pati Panchayat? It has been found that at a lot of places, it is not the female who runs or runs the panchayat. It is the pati of the female, the female member, hopefully the sarpanch. Basically, she got elected because that is a reserved seat, so the male person cannot fight. So she got elected, and after that, her husband regulates entire affair. The only thing that she does is signing the papers that he brings from the office to her, and home she signs the paper, and ultimately the role is. That is the logic of Pati Panchayat. Sabko clear Pati Panchayat and Pati Sarpanch? Basically, it's a denial of movements, right? Or it basically subverts what we really want to do. Now, as I've said always, that society is not black and white. Though media thinks so, but society is never black and white. So it's a rainbow. It has, yes, बिल्कुल सही. मैं उसी का example देने वाला था. Fatima भी. She was recognized by United Nations, no government, no NGO. United Nations itself recognized Fatima B for her work for women empowerment. The way development of her she is woman sarpanch. She developed the entire village. She took extra effort with respect to negotiation of social evils, woman remarriage, child marriage again. So she has literally worked, and she was recognized by United Nations itself. Now compare this woman sarpanch with your woman development ministers. Every state in India has a woman development minister. Even we have union woman development minister. उनमें से कितनों को union ने award दिया है? You can see this ना, कितनों को उनमें से कितनों को award मिला है United Nations की तरफ से? किसको पता है? एक व्यक्ति एक नाम पता है किसी को? ज़्यादा मुझे तो याद नहीं आ रहा किसी का. ठीक है? So that is the thing. That's why we want panchayat. And that was the logic, that bringing governance to the people, near to the people. so that they can lead their life the way they want. I'm not saying, again I'm saying कि I'm not saying कि corruption नहीं है वहाँ. Of course panchayats have various issues like corruption, lack of manpower, lack of physical or lack of understanding, वो है. In spite of that, it's a better model. It has been found, देखिए, there was a study that I'm going to highlight. A study that has been found is, yes, Rohini Pandey. Rohini Pandey did a study, and same study has been replicated by a 2010 study published by Indian Policy Forum. Both have highlighted the same thing. What is the thing? That villages with female leaders or sarpanch experience increased female participation responsive to female policy concerns. They have found that if the sarpanch is female, then it is more likely that the female members of the Gram Sabha is a body constituting all the members of the villages concerned. Say for example, if there is a Gram Panchayat is the executive body. Gram Sabha is kind of legislative body. जैसे हमारी पंचायत तो the way we have parliament ना or state legislative assembly where all the MPs and MLAs sit, discuss and debate, and then government implements the policy. Same is here. Gram Panchayat is kind of implementation body, and Gram Sabha is kind of deliberative body. In this body, Gram Sabha consists of all the people who lives in all the villages. One Gram Panchayat, howsoever villages it covers, all the people are the member of Gram Sabha. It has been found that female participation increase if the sarpanch is woman. Most important, if woman is sarpanch, she takes extra effort to negotiate social evils. Child marriage, your widow remarriage, you get your domestic abuse, you get proper nursery, you get maternity help. They take extra effort. So, by all measures, woman participation has worked, though there are some bad things like Gram Panchayat. Clear everyone, we have seen both dimension and we have understood the concept as well. Any confusion you can ask. मुझे guys कुछ भी पूछना है, anything please do not hesitate. यहाँ पे किसी को कुछ नहीं पता है, including me. ठीक है, तो कुछ भी क्वेश्चन है पूछो.
So privacy protection bill में और personal data protection bill में.
एक सेकंड, राधा क्या राधा?
So privacy protection bill में और personal data protection bill में.
प्लीज जल्दी पूछा. हम बहुत दूर आते हैं, चलो फिर पूछा तो बता. क्या बोले आपने? प्राइवेसी डेटा में और क्या पर्सनल डेटा में?
नहीं सर, प्राइवेसी प्रोटेक्शन बिल में और पर्सनल डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल में कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है.
प्राइवेसी बिल कहाँ पे आया? डेटा बिल हमारे पास केवल पर्सनल डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल है. प्राइवेसी इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट. पर्सनल डेटा एक अलग चीज. फॉर एग्जांपल योर नेम, योर जेंडर, योर फोन नंबर, योर एड्रेस, योर बैंक अकाउंट, योर पैन कार्ड, योर आधार कार्ड, these all constitute your personal data. Privacy is your something around you. For example, your preference for some partner, or your preference for food, or your preference for clothing. वो कोई डेटा में नहीं आता. आप आज फॉर एग्जांपल यू लाइक वेस्टर्न क्लोथिंग, यू लाइक मिनी स्कर्ट्स एंड ऑल, आप आज पहन ले, कल हो सकता है जींस पहन ले. So that is your privacy. That is your personal something you can understand like this. A circle around you. इसमें आप जो चाहे कर रहे हैं. Personal data is the features or facets that describe you, what you are. ये पूछना चाहते हैं आप, difference between both? Any other confusion to anyone's mind? बाकी everything in the notes आप पढ़ सकते हैं. पंचायत का बस यही मुझे समझाना था basically. नहीं है, चलो फिर let's move ahead. So recently another news, as I told you, थोड़ा geography आज होगा हमारा. तो La Nina and El Nino. This we have to understand. The report was La Nina condition enters third year, sixth time since 1950. Since 1950, this is the sixth time that La Nina has continued for such a long period. Often it does not. What is La Nina? Okay, basically this is specific question. इसको करने के लिए थोड़ा सा I will go in geography concepts. ठीक है, please bear with me. देखिए, understand this. This is high pressure. High pressure zone. This is low pressure zone. So always air flows, the wind flows from high pressure to low pressure. Wind always flows from high pressure to low pressure. Another thing, For example, here we have high pressure, here we have low pressure. So high pressure, basically one thing is that wind flows from high pressure to low pressure. Second thing is that wind descends at high pressure. Air descends. High pressure is when something, for example, your parents is nagging you every second. कि class जाओ, पढ़ो. Every second your parents calls you, क्या कर रहे हो? पढ़ाई करो, ये करो, वो करो, whatever. So basically somebody above you who is pressurizing you. Understand like this. So high pressure means descending air. और wind always flow from high pressure to low pressure. Opposite what opposite? आपकी family नहीं करती. It's a good thing. That's a very good thing. They are अच्छा. They may be thinking कि लड़की हमारी politician बनेगी. IAS में क्या रखा है? Anyway, so high pressure to low pressure. It's सबको clear है. And high pressure is a zone where air descends. Something is coming above you. And from high pressure to low pressure, wind flows. So low pressure is the region where air ascends, leaving you. यहाँ पे सबको समझ में आ गया this division? Any clear everyone? ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे कैसे वर्क करता है कि this is a hot region basically. This is a hot region means this is a region of low pressure. So low pressure, so what will happen? The wind will go up or down. This is a low pressure region. The wind will go up or down. Up. This is how wind. Let me change the pen. This is a low pressure region. बढ़िया. So low pressure region, the wind will go up. And why this is a low pressure region? Because this is hot water in the this is Pacific Ocean. This is Western Pacific on side of Australia and all. This is Eastern Pacific. This is Peru, Chile, वगैरह, and this is United States and Mexico. Here we have cold water. Cold water is basically a bit cold, denser. So we have high pressure here. We have low pressure here. So in atmosphere, what will happen? The wind will go up here, like this. And at the top, we have something called as tropopause. Again, I have no idea how much geography of yours is done. If anything you could not understand, please ask. Okay? I'm trying as best as possible to explain you. Let me repeat again. We have high pressure here, cold water. Basically represent high pressure here. Warm water. This red is warm water, low pressure. So from low pressure, the wind will ascend at the top. It will reach to a level, the upper level of atmosphere in the atmosphere that we have on Earth. Okay, Earth होती है उसके ऊपर we have number of layers. So the first layer is known as this region is known as troposphere, and the edge that divide the troposphere and the upper layer is known as tropopause. यहाँ तक सब clear? Please tell me. Any confusion? बोले guys, any confusion up to here? किसी को नहीं है ना पक्का? चलो. So this is the edge, the tropopause. Below, above this air does not go. So low pressure region, the air will rise. It will reach to the tropopause. From there, it will start moving in this direction. Okay. Also in this direction. No direction, no, it will spread like this. But we are not considering this part, so we will not look here. We will look at this part. The air will go here. Now, this is the high pressure region, so air will descend. And from high pressure, we know air goes like this. So we have got a kind of oscillation. एक circle बन गया हमारा. सबको समझ में आया? This is known as Walker circulation. This movement of air in the atmosphere in the Pacific Ocean is known as Walker circulation. यहाँ तक everyone clear? Please tell me, then I will move ahead. Okay. अब this event, when this condition get reinforced even stronger, means there is creation of strong low pressure, very weak, strong नहीं कहना चाहिए, weak कहना चाहिए. There is creation of very weak low pressure. Very weak pressure means low, or this creation of strong pressure here that is high. मतलब reinforcement of these conditions, this low pressure and high pressure, is known as La Nina. This normal condition, the reinforcement of this condition is known as La Nina. And what is El Nino? El Nino is the reversal of this process. In this process, as you can see, in the Western Pacific, we have cold water. So here we will have, let me rub it out a bit. This is La Nina, means the reinforcement of this condition of movement of air in the atmosphere. Next is El Nino. In El Nino, conditions are reversed. Now here will be high pressure, here will be low pressure. We will follow the same process. The air will flow from high to low. That's why we have this arrow. From low, it will rise. It will reach up to tropopause. And from there, it will go. It will go also here, but we are not concerned with here place. We are concerned with here only. So it will go here. And from here, it will descend. यहाँ से देखिए warm air will rise here. Slowly it will move here. It will get colder and colder. When it will move here, it will get colder and colder. It will reach a point when there will be sufficient mass of the air that gravity pulls it back. So it will come back. Clear? You can see the cycle has reversed. Earlier it was the movement in, I would say, clockwise. You understand? Clockwise in the direction how the clock moved. So the direction was clockwise, and now the direction is anti-clock. So this clockwise direction, reinforcement of clockwise movement of this air circulation is known as La Nina, and this anti-clock movement is known as El Nino. Please tell me, everyone clear La Nina and El Nino? Again, we have just understood the basics. इसमें there are numerous complexities in this. वो हम कर नहीं सकते यहाँ पे. Your geography teacher will teach you it. सबको क्लियर है ना? La Nina and El Nino event. Any confusion you have, you can ask. जिनका geography खासकर नहीं हुआ है, वो पूछ लीजिए. So it appears everyone is clear on this. अब देखिए basically हम इसे why we study this, because this is directly related to Indian monsoon, इसलिए हम इसे पढ़ रहे हैं. अब यहाँ तक if you understood, Nitin, yes, because Pacific has a longer region. The word that we use this is for Indian Pacific Ocean, because Pacific Ocean is the biggest ocean in the world. So वहाँ पे it is easily possible. It also happens in Indian Ocean, but वहाँ पे we call it by the name of Indian Ocean Dipole. That's a bit different. Logic यही होता है, थोड़ा सा अलग होता है. Is it clear? That is what I was saying. There is too many complexities in it. जब आपको geography जो पढ़ाएंगे ना, they will go in all the dimensions. I'm just covering one part of it. Okay. The next part that I want to go is Indian monsoon. Okay, what is Indian monsoon? Indian monsoon is reversal of wind basically. Okay, this is India. Here we have Mauritius, Seychelles, and all these small islands, and Madagascar. Okay, here we have Africa. This is Indian Ocean. So what is monsoon? In every monsoon, air starts from here. It goes toward India. During this process, they take up moisture. They take up a lot of moisture, and then they shed this moisture on Indian land. This from here, the air starts. अच्छा, आप लोग मुझे बताइए, if the air is going from Mauritius and these places to India, so where is the high pressure? 1 or 2? ये बताइए मुझे. Where is high pressure? At 1 or at 2? There is high pressure. शुभम 2 पे कैसे हो गया? अभी तो मैंने बताया था how air flows. राधा 2 पे कैसे हुआ? मैंने क्या बताया था? हाउ, देखिए यहाँ पे देखिए क्या लिखा हुआ है. air flows from always देखिए नहीं सिंक क्यों करेगी ये ना 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 सुनो सिंक क्यों करेगी वहां पे एयर आई टोल्ड यू मैं अभी ग्राउंड पे बात कर रहा हूँ अभी सिंक की बात नहीं है हाँ समझे ना यहाँ से ये सिंक नहीं है ये प्रेसिपिटेशन है this arrow represent precipitation of the clouds the cloud will go from here na that is what I am saying when the air will go from here to India they will pick up moisture from Indian Ocean and then when will they reach India they will give precipitation that is what we call monsoon in India okay so high pressure will be here and low pressure will be here and that is why we get monsoon when from June to September the time of the time of summer in India during June to September it is hot so India is hot India is low pressure region और ठीक low pressure समझ गए सब लोग clear इसलिए आपका जून टू सितंबर में आता है because we have a low pressure on India and high pressure is available on Mauritius and all the winds goes there अब इसमें मैं I am again saying but I am telling you very simplistic idea it is too complex इसमें बहुत dimensions होती हैं इसमें types of wind involved होते हैं trade winds westerlies easterlies ठीक है trade winds coriolis all these things will be a geography teacher will teach but basic idea यही है सब clear कोई confusion है please ask so that's why I'm now let me come back to why I was saying this that's why we are understanding El Nino and La Nina remember this during La Nina India's monsoon is better that's why you are seeing that there is so much rain in India there is alert every day there is alert by IMD that here you will get excessive precipitation here you will get this why happening this in India because we are having good La Nina that is what this emphasize La Nina condition enter third year so La Nina is good for Indian monsoon and El Nino is bad whenever El Nino happens Indian monsoon get impacted and we get drought in India clear the linkage between and this देखिए इसे हम बोलते हैं इसका पूरा नाम है ENSO तो इसका नाम होगा El Nino Southern Oscillation this is Southern Oscillation El Nino reversal of water clear है term ENSO La Nina El Nina Indian monsoon 4 terms we have discussed any confusion you can ask sorry chalo baki this is the basic idea I have written in notes you can read the rest of your geography teacher will go in complexities I have not dealt with complexities so geography teacher will deal with it chalo having understood this next news cloud seeding countries in the Middle East and the Northern Africa basically your arid region they have desert and all so your Middle East your this Western Asia as we call it okay Northern Africa they are trying to develop chemicals to get rain out of cloud to understand this you need to understand how clouds are made okay remember this clouds and rain comes by a mechanism known as condensation what is cloud is nothing air with water what is cloud it's a air with water simple logic but this water can only precipitate when it is sufficiently clubbed together at that point of time it is like this is cloud air happens when these water come together and form a sufficient big droplet that it can come down because of gravity it can come down and that only happen because of condensation and to happen this condensation we require a nuclei what is nuclei a particle इसे ऐसे समझिए for example this का real life example could be भी कोई रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल समझ नहीं आ रहा न्यूक्लियाई बेसिकली आप इसे समझिए देखिए देयर इज अ पार्टिकल वी नीड अ काइंड ऑफ मैग्नेट यस दैट कुड वर्क तो न्यूक्लियाई इज काइंड ऑफ अ मैग्नेट वेरी थैंक यू मच Very thank you. अच्छा idea. Magnet. We have a magnet. We have a lot of nails spread everywhere. Once you dip the magnet, everyone comes around the magnet. So then it will have sufficient power to pick it up. Otherwise, you cannot pick individual bits and pieces of the iron. So that is what nuclei act like. It act like a magnet. You can understand like this. Water droplet come there, and this process, they come together, get condensed, and they keep on accumulating until they become sufficiently big to drop. And that's how we get rain. यहाँ तक everyone clear how this cloud thing work? बोलिए guys, any confusion in anyone's mind? किसी को नहीं है? चलो ठीक है. तो that cloud seeding क्या होता है? What is cloud seeding? We need this magnets, or in proper term is nuclei. So what cloud seeding is? We artificially put those nuclei. We see a cloud that is air containing water. Yes, solid carbon dioxide होता है, dry ice. That in you are going. Dry ice, potassium iodide, silver iodide, liquid propane. So what we do is we take these compounds, we put them into the cloud. Once they are in the cloud, they act like a magnet. They bring water together and the water precipitate. And that is known as cloud seeding. सबको clear है what is cloud seeding? Any confusion? And we are discussing this because these countries, Middle Eastern countries, which are basically arid region, मतलब desert they have, so they want water. Water चाहिए उन्हें, तो इसके लिए they are doing this. But what is the issue? Issue है there is a limitation to this. What is the limitation? The limitation is nature. Nature does not like too much temperature, and that's why cloud seeding has been tried since decades. Okay, we have also tried in I think Rajasthan somewhere we tried. Okay, we tried, other countries also tried cloud seeding. But problem is cloud seeding, there is no guarantee of rain, or there could be other problems. If you use some chemical which may react with something in the air, so it will lead to another problem. For example, China tried once upon a time and it led to too much icing. वहाँ पे इतनी ज़्यादा बारिश हो गई, rain, there was too much snowfall that it basically disrupted everything. तो हमें इतनी भी नहीं चाहिए. बात समझ में आ रहा है? It's the problem is you are tampering with environment. अब इससे कितना नुकसान है? Imagine कीजिए. Let's come इसे समझते हैं इस sense में. For example, we discuss this Indian Ocean thing. Imagine this, Mauritius, all this is here. This is India. If Mauritius and all these countries, they do cloud seeding, they will force the water to shed here. India को क्या मिलेगा? A lot of people in India will go without most of the irrigation, agriculture irrigation in India is rainfed. तो क्या होगा? हमारा lot of farms will go dry. बात समझ में आ रही है? Cloud seeding में there are lot of issues, political as well, because nature is one. Nature does not care about political boundaries. For nature, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, everything is same. A water, imagine here, a water that originates in Madagascar, Mauritius, Seychelles, it comes to India to give its water. वो समझ में आ रहा है क्लाउड सीडिंग के साथ प्रॉब्लम क्या है हमारी? Clear everyone? That's why we were discussing this news. The geography side is clear about this, the science behind cloud seeding. बहुत जल्दी बोलिएगा. क्लियर है सबको? ठीक है. अब इसमें लास्ट न्यूज हम कवर करते हैं. लास्ट न्यूज इज अबाउट denotified and nomadic tribes. देखिए we are a tribal country. We have a lot of tribes in India. So what is the issue is Britishers basically enacted known as colonial criminal tribe act. Criminal tribes like Baker Walls in Jammu Kashmir. What happened is when Britishers came to India, there were some tribes which have various rituals. Those rituals can be considered as I would say anti-humane, but today they are not considered very good. For example, there's human sacrifice. There are some tribes which believe in human sacrifice. There are some tribes which believe in flesh eating, human flesh eating, जो मर जाते हैं उनके बारे में. ठीक है, तो there are various cultures around the world. Around the world, there are tribes which have various cultures which may not appear very modern to us, but nonetheless they have it. So Britishers enacted criminal tribes. They declared all such tribes as criminal tribes. ठीक है, and if you are found, then it is a non-bailable offense. Means you can be taken to prison for practicing your own practices or cultures and all. After independence, we repealed it so that these people can continue with their rituals without compromising the law of the land. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि they will have. इसलिए देखिए example, it's a classical example of you can say multiculturalism. We are not imposing one way of life on everyone. हर किसी की अपनी जिंदगी है, क्यों हम सबको सेम कपड़े पहनाएं? बात समझ में आ रही है? Why we repeal this Criminal Tribes Act? बोले guys, is it clear? So what is happening is there are various reports that I have listed here also. देखिए I-8 Commission. It has said please give them protection under Atrocities Act. What is Atrocities Act? It is SC and ST. SC and ST Atrocities Act. Under this act, if you use slang like जैसे हम बोलते हैं चमार आपका और भंगी, ये वर्ड के slang माने जाते हैं under this act. And for saying this word, you can be penalized. उसका अब अपना केस है. तो I-8 Commission has said give them protection under Atrocities Act. Budget में भी था, the Union Budget 2020 provided that there will be a welfare development board. They set up under the Ministry of Social Justice for these nomadic, semi-nomadic, denotified tribes. Nomadic मतलब जैसे घुमंतू प्रजाति जिसे बोलते हैं हिंदी में, the tribes that roam from here to there. Clear है? That basically this news is about the protection of these tribes, which were once declared criminal tribes by the Britishers. Now we have basically Banjaras is also an example of nomadic and semi-nomadic. So what is the policy? Government has brought in this scheme for economic empowerment of denotified tribes. Under this tribe, they are supposed to be given unique IDs by which they can avail free coaching, free health, free housing, these kind of things. But problem ये चल ही नहीं पा रहा. क्यों? It is virtually impossible. Delay in categorization of tribes. सबको clear है? देखिए. No, they are not. That is the problem. Criminal tribe सारी नहीं है. राधा उसमें कुछ है, कुछ नहीं है. तो I-8 Commission ने बोला please include all the this denotified tribes as a part of SC and STs. कुछ नहीं है, कुछ tribes की अभी recent में I think 3 tribes और ऐड की गई थी ST की लिस्ट. Is it clear राधा? आपको देखिए ना हमारे पास कितनी है, 1262 tribes है, सारी tribes इसमें नहीं है. That is what this commission has said. Please include all these tribes into ST category. Having said that, this is the news. We understood denotified tribes, which are basically once known as criminal tribes. Now they are denotified tribes, and these tribes, government tried to develop their way of living. For that, we have launched this scheme, SEED scheme. This scheme, we are trying to provide unique ID to these kind of tribe people, so that they can avail health benefits, free coaching, free housing, and etc. But the problem that we are witnessing is categorization. Currently, categorization is not available clearly. सबको clear? Any confusion you can ask. पूछेगा ऐसा कुछ भी confusion कहीं पे भी? नहीं है. चलो. With that note, Finance, we did talk about that. आप ये बताइए आपका attempt year कौन सा है? That will decide this. Which is your attempt year? (24) है ना, तो अभी मत फोकस कीजिए. अभी just keep on attending my classes. जो भी मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ उस पे ध्यान दीजिए, because a lot of revision is there. जो आप खुद पढ़ेंगे वो यहाँ पे रिवाइज हो जाता है. Please do that. अभी मत पढ़िए. आप स्टार्ट कीजिएगा फरवरी के आसपास, because 2024 is your attempt year ना. तो नेक्स्ट ईयर फरवरी में यू स्टार्ट करंट इवेंट, उसमें फोकस कीजिएगा. आप देखिए क्या करना है आपको. प्लीज पिक अप अ मैगजीन, अ गुड मैगजीन. सेकंड आप वो पिक कर लीजिएगा, क्या होता है मेरी क्लास का ही मैगजीन, एंड एडिटोरियल हर बार पढ़ना है, पर अभी नहीं, फरवरी के आसपास. ठीक है, चलो. विद दैट नोट एवरीवन, हैव अ नाइस डे, नाइस वीक. We will meet next Saturday, and for the other people who are in the other classes, फिर मिलेंगे. Yes, tata. हाँ, एडिटोरियल I was talking about था. एडिटोरियल कंपल्सरी है attempt year के बेसिस पे. अगर आपका attempt year अभी है, जैसे 2023 है, तो आपको क्या करना है, एडिटोरियल तो पढ़ना ही पढ़ना, वो तो हमेशा ही पढ़ना होता है। पर जो लोग अटेम्प्ट किए 2024 25 है, अभी करंट इवेंट में कुछ मत पढ़िए, सिर्फ एक क्लास लीजिए और फोकस कीजिए कोर सब्जेक्ट्स पे, उन्हें किसी तरह कंप्लीट किए जल्द से जल्द। रेस्ट ऑफ द दैट अगर आपका 2023 ईयर है, नेक्स्ट ईयर है, तो उसके लिए कोर सब्जेक्ट तो देखो आपको करना ही है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट आप कोई भी मैगजीन, आई एम नॉट प्रमोटिंग माय इंस्टीट्यूट, किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूट हमारी या किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूट की एक मंथली मैगजीन ले लीजिए, उसमें सारी न्यूज़ कवर हो जाएंगी, प्लस एडिटोरियल कर लीजिए किसी भी न्यूज़पेपर से, बस और कुछ नहीं करना, सिर्फ 2 सोर्स, दिस क्लास जो मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ वो देखते रहिए, रिवीजन भी होती रहेगी, प्लस आपका एडिटोरियल कंपल्सरीली मेकिंग नोट्स आउट ऑफ इट एंड 1 मैगजीन मंथली मैगजीन। क्लियर है ना? तो आप कंप्लीट नहीं, पढ़ना तो बहुत कुछ होता है, पर मैं कह रहा हूँ जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। अगर आप किसी भी इशू की मंथली मैगजीन भी करते हैं सफिशिएंट है, आप एडिटोरियल बस पढ़ लीजिए, क्योंकि मंथली मैगजीन में एडिटोरियल जनरली मिलते नहीं है, मिलते हैं तो अपने हिसाब से एडिट करते हैं, आप अपने हिसाब से एडिटोरियल पढ़ते जाइए। पर अगर ईयर नेक्स्ट ईयर, अगर नेक्स्ट ईयर नहीं देना है 24 या 25 है, तो अभी मत करिएगा, वेट फॉर, अभी पहले कोर सब्जेक्ट्स को कंप्लीट कीजिए फिर करंट इवेंट पे आना, वरना फायदा नहीं है, आपको समझ आएगा नहीं करंट क्या फायदा। चलो बाय एवरीवन, हैव अ नाइस डे। अब हम मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट